Howdy animation fans, this is Mason on the Rotoscopers YouTube. Today we have a special treat for you, a super impromptu last-minute interview with none other than Genndy Tartakovsky, director of the upcoming movie Hotel Transylvania 2, which is going to premiere this weekend. And we were contacted by Sony Pictures Animation today to talk about the film with Genndy, and so super special treat. I myself, if you know me from the podcast, I am an avid religious fan of Genndy's work. I was truthfully kind of nervous to talk to him. And all right, let's get this started. Welcome, Genndy Tartakovsky, to the Animation Addicts podcast mini interview. This is a impromptu last-minute interview that we were very honored to be a part of by Sony Animation, and so thank you so much for being on with us at such short notice.
No worries.
All right. Well, hey, I was told by the guys at Sony that we were supposed to talk completely in Russian. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you could do it, go for it.
Yeah, привет. I know like one word, and that's it. Just to introduce myself, Genndy, I don't know if you're very familiar with the Rotoscopers or the Animation Addicts podcast, but I am Mason. I'm the go-to guy for interviews, and I myself am a student of animation at Texas A&M University. I'm focusing on rigging and character technical directing and things like that, and so I am extremely fascinated with your work in Hotel Transylvania, so this is going to be a good interview.
That's great. Yeah, that's exciting.
All right. Well, hey, let's launch right into it. So you're going to be directing from the ground. You have directed from the ground up for Hotel Transylvania 2, whereas in Hotel Transylvania 1, you came in kind of late in the game. There were directorial changes. So what's the difference now? What's your experience been like working on Hotel Transylvania 2 from the ground up, from pre-production on?
It's been interesting because part of it's definitely easier because we got the world figured out. We know who the characters are. So that part of it is great. On the first one, I basically showed up and they go, here's some character designs and here's a castle and here's maybe a story. And then I had to kind of put all the elements together, figure out a tone, and bring it all together. So for the second one, because it's a sequel, things get immediately complicated because there's already an expectation, right? So you want to plus everything, you want to bring in new characters, you want to make the story better, and so it becomes challenging that way. And actually, there's no measure of success for the first one, but now that the first one was successful, now there's that added pressure also.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about the pressure. What are some technical or animation challenges that you've had to address in Hotel Transylvania 2 that maybe you didn't address in the first one?
I mean, for sure, we wanted the lighting to be better. We wanted our lighting choices to be stronger so this type of animation can read in a really strong, clear way. The first one was so hard to do for the animators, because it's a very challenging style. There's a lot of modeling happening for the actual animation for each shot. And so we wanted to make it easier, And so the guys at Sony Pictures ImageWorks worked out, a new motion blur system, just that fit better with the way I wanted motion blur to work. It was really hard with the system. It was kind of making our drawings disappear. We set a library from the first movie of stuff that we thought was successful. So you could pop right into already an expression of Dracula from the first movie and go from there, rather than start from kind of the neutral and model and just your way through it. What else did we do? Kept updating. I think the rigs got updated for this type of thing, and all the new characters we built had all of this in mind. So knowing the style we were going into and then building for that style made things better. Still challenging, but definitely easier, I think, than the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, something I really loved about the first one, and we were talking about this on our podcast a couple nights ago, is how dynamic Count Dracula is. in his rig. If you go frame by frame on some of those scenes where he's, sneaking and zooming in and out of things, he literally like stretches and turns into this awesome arc shape, and then whack, he's into a pose, into a really strong silhouette. Something I really love about your personal style of animation. And speaking of which, I remember hearing some interviews of you talking about, putting your own personal brand or personal style or perspective on animation into Hotel Transylvania 1. Did you feel like you had more of that freedom this time around, or did your animation crew kind of catch on to your style and what you had envisioned for the sequel?
I mean, we definitely tried to push it and try to follow what we did successfully in the first one. I had a crew of over 100 people from the second one just because of the speed we were going at.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, not everybody can just jump into the style and know how to do it to feel really great. So we have a lot of characters in each shot. There's a lot of, it's an ensemble piece. So there's a lot to stage, a lot to look out for. So it was still difficult, but I think everybody liked the first one so much. They liked this kind of style, so they were up for the challenge. And then, like what you're saying about Dracula, that's all handcrafted in betweening. It's everything is very cared for and specifically designed for those ideas. So that's what makes it stand out. And that style, that every pose is pushed to tell a specific thing designed for, is difficult.
Yeah, it really is. In my own rigging work and animation work at A&M, it is difficult to get those, get the timing just right and things like that. Those are always challenges with animation. But man, I was just in awe of the technical achievement that was specifically the rig for Count Dracula. And I wanted to get, I guess, more of a perspective from you. Something I heard you say in another interview was that you tended to not use live action reference for your animators in Hotel Transylvania 1. Did that carry into Hotel Transylvania 2? And I would also love to hear more about your personal philosophy on why you chose not to use like live action reference for those characters.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is that that's the difference between kind of hand-drawn stuff and computer stuff, where you don't rotoscope it, and I think nowadays, because the animation is more realistic. And by the way, like, I don't want to slam realistic animation. I think there's
absolutely.
a place for it, and it's great. And like the animation, obviously, on Lord of the Rings, on
Bakshi,
on Sneak, right? The animation on the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, like the first half hour, I was amazed,
Right.
And so there's definitely a place for that, so I don't want to insult it. But for me, my personal perspective on it, my opinion on it is, yeah, you want it to be, I want a great animator, and he or she can draw a specific way, and the way they pose and make the expressions and the acting is all from them, and it's all from their hand rather than them kind of acting in front of the mirror. Because I am definitely a better actor on paper than I am in front of the mirror,
Wow.
And I think that's kind of the big difference. And so for the second one, because we had so many new people, the rule is no live-action reference. You're not allowed to shoot yourself on video and then kind of, put this into the computer and make it work. It was all about, you're doing a funny dance, figure out how that funny dance looks like, in rough poses. And so I can, I'm from an animation background,
Yeah.
so I could read things a lot looser and rougher than maybe the animators are used to showing to directors. And so, that was the rule, and you definitely, it makes it feel a lot different and more specific to what you're doing,
The sequel is going to be really awesome. I'm looking forward to it. What is the thing about Hotel Transylvania 2 that you are most excited to show audiences?
Well, I think towards the end of the movie, we have this kind of action sequence, It's funny, and there's action, and, there's all these things that we developed and we wanted to do for the Popeye movie, which we did the chance to do.
Right.
So I took some of those ideas, and I put them and made them work into these last action sequence. And I think, especially if you're an animator, but I think if you're anybody, you'll really enjoy it because it's super physical and fun and funny. And I think it's taking animation to, another level.
Heck yeah. All right, one final quick question. When can we expect the Samurai Jack movie?
Well, I don't know about a movie, but I'm really trying to push through Samurai Jack somehow, in some form, in some medium, that you can look for it hopefully really, really soon.
All right, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time, and just want to say I'm a huge fan of yours. I religiously watched Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack as a kid, so this is a real honor talking to you. And also, thank you so much for your insight on Hotel Transylvania 2. We are super excited to watch it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed this interview with director Genndy Tartakovsky. Be sure to like this video and leave a comment below telling us why you are excited for Hotel Transylvania 2. And be sure to subscribe to the Rotoscopers YouTube for animation podcasts, reviews, and more from the world of animation. Also, the 12th season of King of the Hill just got released on DVD, and so I'm gonna go do that now. I'll tell you what, Bobby.